We did it. All righty. Hey, everybody. Uh, Good morning from Paris. Many people would still consider this to be the night. All right. I consider this to be early morning and time to get this party started. So, welcome to the Alchemy Coach Start-Up Challenge. My name is Crystalline Bell, and before we tuck into the work, I want to make an announcement. I'm going to be doing Fire Alchemy Tarot readings and Healing Circle on 2 days. All right. So, I want you to sign up. Liesel has got the link in the comments for you. But this is an opportunity because it's a really, really significant time right now. We have the new moon eclipse. It's a solar eclipse that's happening on Sunday. Okay. This whole period between now and Sunday is huge. We're going to be birthing some really powerful stuff that's going to set us up for the next year. Okay. It's going to help us end this cycle. For those of you who are really in the alchemy and you're feeling old paradigms burn up and you're having to deal with the kind of emotional aftermath of giving birth to yourself, dying to your old self, giving birth to your new self. This is a super significant time. This is the end. Okay. This is the end of the cycle. We have one more official cycle that will happen this month, like one more official cycle, like it's official. Um, I shouldn't say it's an official cycle, but what I mean is that it is a time when it's a time of shedding what is old, shedding what is outdated, shedding what no longer serves you in a real way, not just in a superficial, yeah, let go, let God. No, it's much more about like feeling it on a cellular level, feeling it on an energetic level. There's just a lot of big change that's happening. We're all feeling it. We're all kind of rupturing. And the new self is the new self will not be held back and will not tolerate any petty drama. And this is why I'm holding this circle and the tarot readings. This is a great time for you to, you're wanting to become an alchemy coach. You're wanting to step into a bigger aspect of yourself, and intuitively and instinctively and on a deep mental level that you got to let go. You have to die to your old self. And this is a terrifying process for many people. I know that I've gone through it and I am a very courageous healer. Like, I'm courageous in confronting my shadows. I'm courageous in looking at what's dark. It's the job that I do, and it's the job that I've been doing for the last 20 years. So I'm very, very courageous. And even for me, it's been a devastating process, but it's also been the most joyous process. So I'm hosting the tarot readings and alchemy circle. There are two dates. You are welcome to come to both dates. All right. Saturday, it's at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Sunday, it's at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all you do is show up. Okay. You do have to sign up. Okay. So sign up so that you can get the Zoom information delivered to your email. Um, we have a different Zoom for that. I don't know what it is. So you'll get it when you sign up. Check your email, check your spam, and let's take this stuff to another level. And it'll give me also a chance to meet you, to connect with you, and yeah, that'll be fun. We did this last week, and we did this last week, and some people were like, "Yeah, this was good stuff." They they are already stepping into more audacious aspects of themselves, and this is exactly what we want. Um, all right. Actually, I was just talking to one of the attendees, and she was like, "Yeah, I went toward my fear," and she had a healing response, and she was really, really sick for a few days. And one of the reasons why we need to be coaches is because we need to coach our students, our clients, through those powerful healing responses that come when you do this deep alchemical work. Alchemy is not a joke, and it's yeah, it's why we need coaches. All right. So thank you for stepping into this. Okay, so what are we doing? So today we are going to wrap things up, and I've got two important workbooks that if you are signed up, you will have access to not only the replays for these 3 days, you'll also have the workbooks for all 3 days. They are on the replay page for you, and they'll be sent to your email. So if you have not signed up, you still can sign up and get access to the information. We'll be taking the replays and everything down on Monday, so you have the weekend to get through all the material. I want to remind you also that now is the time to book your complimentary strategy call. This is your opportunity to really um, take your calling to become a coach seriously. It is your opportunity to move this up the priority list. And look, you all know that the three-dimensional realities, okay, that's reality with a little r, will drag you into old patterned behavior, and you'll keep recreating old stuff over and over and over again. That's just how our brains work here. You have to break those patterns of thinking and being and behaving by doing something new. Booking a strategy call is a huge way to break through the old patterns of being, doing, and behaving, and thinking, and seeing, and believing, right? So in order to get out of your caterpillar self, you have to take some bold actions. Booking in a strategy call is an incredibly bold action to take, and I want to encourage you to do that. Do it now. Ladies, drop the link in Zoom and on the socials, please, so that they can have the strategy call access, and so that they can start claiming their future, right? Claiming what you desire. You start with a small step, and the universe will open up entire pathways, but you have to take action. And now is the time. The six-figure Fire Alchemy Coach certification starts at the beginning of October. And this is all super intentional timing. Why? Because this September is a time of endings, and October is a time of beginnings. And you want to end this time with the things in place that you want to begin with, right? You want stability, you want strength going forward. You end the way you want to begin. Super intentional. All right. So Welcome and welcome to today's session. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through the Magnetic Alchemy Client Attraction Framework. So this is where I am going to teach you the framework that I use to attract people to me. And it's all based on frequencies, and you need the internal frequencies, which is feminine, but you also need the masculine structures. So there are going to be some things that are masculine and feminine that you're going to learn about today. And we're also going to go through the six-figure business alchemy roadmap. So how do you use these alchemical principles in your business? How do you how do you take the mundane masculine things of business and add fire and passion to them so that when you're going through building your business, you're doing it from a divine place, but you're also doing the practical work. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. Now, I want to just do a very quick recap about what we've covered so far. Now, I've been talking a lot about alchemy, which is my passion and which is a powerful, mystical tool that you are living already. What I teach is how to harness that and how to use that to help yourself transform, but also to help other people transform. This is a method that is absolutely wonderful to use because it allows you to bring your whole self to it. It is a method that has been channeled from the divine, but it's also clearly, when you learn it, you're like, this is what I go through. This is what my clients have been saying. This is what my students say. They say, oh my God, this is my life. And yes, it is. And what we do is we've turned it into a coaching method that helps you achieve your goals systematically. There is a process where you are using the divine feminine healing, but you're also using traditional coaching tools and methods and strategies to help your clients go on a profoundly healing journey, but also one that actually takes them into their higher self. It enlightens them, it awakens their light, it awakens their higher faculties, it awakens their perception so that they are able to actually integrate all the wonderful healing, but use it in the three-dimensional world. This is super powerful stuff, my friends. And so I hope you're excited to learn it. I'm excited to teach it, and I'm excited for you to experience it, which is why I'm also having these healing circles and the tarot reading so that you can see the fire at work. All right. You can experience it yourself right now. Now, in order to get this, in order to receive this work, you must get certified. All right. It's not going to come to you through osmosis. You're not going to be able to give it to people without studying the path, without being initiated into the fire. And you're not going to be able to build a business on it without knowing the steps for building a business and going through that process. I want to assure you that all of these things are very learnable, and you are incredibly capable of learning, especially if you have a leader like me who is methodical but also intuitive. I am very, very blessed that I use the divine feminine and the divine masculine in my work every day. I'm very well trained in both levels. And so my job as a coach, as a healer, as a leader, and as an alchemist, a trained alchemist, I am able to give you this information in the most efficient and powerful way. And I'm very excited to initiate you into it. So, what you're going to need to do in order to connect with me is to book a strategy call. There is a link in the comments if you're on Zoom, and there's a link in the comments also if you're on the socials. So, yes, go ahead and book yourself in now. This is a session that I am offering to you totally for free right now during this period. It's valued at $497. You are being offered it for absolutely no charge. This is an opportunity for you to sit down with me and be seen. Okay. People are always saying, I feel invisible. I feel like nobody's seeing me. Well, look, you have an alchemist a badass butterfly alchemist on top of it all, who is willing to sit down and listen to you and your dreams and to give you feedback that comes not just from the divine, but that comes from three-dimensional world experience. I've been working as a healer for over 20 years. I've been working as an intuitive for over 30 years. So my connection and my ability to read energy, to receive downloads, and to channel is incredibly powerful. It has been used a lot. I am very active, and I'm very active with the divine. And my job, my life purpose is to help people like you step into this power for yourself so that you are awakening to your own inner alchemist, your own transformation is happening at a deep level, and you are able to teach other people. That is my job, to help teachers step into their power so that they can also give. And I multiply myself through you, and you multiply yourself through your clients and through people who may also become your students, right? Because maybe you're going to step into teaching and multiplying your knowledge as well. It's an amazing way to connect and heal the world. All right. Okay. So book your strategy call as soon as possible. And just to let you know, a lot of people are intimidated by booking a strategy call. Yeah, I understand that. First of all, I want you to understand that this is not about me trying to sell you anything. I am not a salesperson. I am an alchemist, and I'm always going to be an alchemist. I'm never going to be a salesperson. But what I'm going to do is invite you to step into your next highest level. I cannot give you what I don't have. And I can also not be, wait, let me say this right. I cannot be what I am not. So I cannot bring you into a call and look at you like you are somebody who's small and insignificant and that you don't know what you're doing. My job, my gift is to see your greatest potential, to see your personal legend, to see your magnum opus. Okay. So that I know who you are, and I know that truth. My job is to work with your higher self. My higher self is calling your higher self here. If you are watching this, you are seeing this, you are receiving a transmission from your higher self. It's guided you here. Okay. You're not here by accident. So when we meet on the strategy call, I am going to listen to who you are and who you think you are in this three-dimensional world. You know your higher self as well. It's coming through you. But the problem, and this is why I have this program, the problem is that the egoic or human self blocks the higher self on all levels. It blocks the higher self from expressing your true identity. It blocks it from expressing your true beliefs on the higher self's level. It blocks your true knowing. It blocks your true artistry, your true creativity, your true prosperity, your true connection to God, your true connection to your ability to write, your true connection to your passion for public speaking. It blocks your ability to really manifest your highest and your greatest potential. So when you come to a strategy call, all of that stuff starts to blossom and unlock so that you can be seen fully, and then we can start calling those things in. And I know you know that this is what happens, and these are the reasons why you might be holding back from taking action, and why your egoic self might be sabotaging you from making the decision to take these vital steps forward when you receive a clear calling. Again, if you're here, you have a clear calling. You are meant to move forward with whatever comes next. And the egoic self is meant to keep you small and earthly and connected to its structures that it has created. The neural pathways in your brain are created by your three-dimensional life. Taking action that pushes you out of your comfort zone is a way of creating new neural pathways and challenging the old status quo that is at work inside you right now. So the simple step, book the strategy call, book it now, think about it later. Okay, you can think about it later. Just number one, show up. Okay, do not just book the call and not show up. If you have an impulse to book a call and not show up, that is your ego, and that is not welcome. So book the call and show up. All right. It's going to ask you a few questions that are really, really simple. Answer from your heart, and you're going to be just fine. Okay. All right. Are you ready to get this party started? I'm ready to get this party started. I've been ready. Y'all been ready? I've been ready. Okay. So I want to talk to you about this certification thing. Okay. Why am I talking to you about certification again? Because in order for you to be able to be the best coach that you can be, you need powerful mentorship. You cannot afford to play it small and to take baby steps. You need to give birth to yourself. You need to unleash yourself. Do you see all the fire that's happening around the world? There is fire. The world is on fire. So, should we be letting fire be handled by people who have an agenda that is self-centered and um, working against the ascension of mankind? No, we should not. So how do we handle the fire? Well, you have to step into your power. How can you best step into your power? You need a great certification program. Your certification program, as we've talked about, you need three things. You must have a powerful transformational process that you are excited to use for yourself, but that you're also excited to give to other people. Okay. You have to be excited. You have to want to learn it. Okay. That is the first non-negotiable. The second thing that your certification program must do is you must be able to um, attract clients. You have to learn how to find and attract your clients. You have to learn how to talk to them, how to create, how to take the messaging from what you've learned and put it out to them so that they understand who you are. You're going to need to be seen by people who love and respect you, who appreciate you, and who understand you, who get you. Your certification program must teach you how to do this, and they must teach it clearly so that when you are out of the program, you know exactly what to do to call in these clients, and you don't have any fear or doubt around it. This is one reason why I bring this alchemy, and I insist that you walk it, that you learn it, because when you have it, you can give it, and people will trust you to give it to them, and they will be willing to pay you for the transformation that you are promising. That is what certification is supposed to do for you. All right. Now, for me, the third non-negotiable is that your certification program must provide you step-by-step training in how to build and run your business. If it's not giving you that step-by-step training, how are you going to run your business? How are you going to learn how to do that on your own if you don't already know? Okay. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about the process that my students go through as they are learning the fire alchemy method. All right. So my certification is going to take you, first of all, stage one is about healing, where you're going to transform your pain into power, and you're going to awaken your spiritual gifts. So this is the time when you start to learn the fire alchemy method, but you're using it on yourself. You should be your first and best client. All right. So that's stage one of the certification. You're going to release old patterns and emotional pain that have been blocking you. You're going to awaken your intuitive gifts, right? You're going to learn the first level of fire Reiki. You're going to also learn astrology, and you're going to learn things like shadow work, right? This is going to help you build incredible resilience and clarity, and you're going to have incredible confidence in your own healing journey, but also this is going to make you really comfortable with working with other people. All right. Now, stage two, you're going to actually learn how to coach. So this is where you're going to be mastering the fire alchemy coaching method. So you're going to learn the framework, you're going to learn all the materials, you're going to learn how to use all of the workbooks, the worksheets, you're going to learn all the frameworks, and you're going to actually practice applying it with real clients, because part of my certification involves a lab where you sit down and you'll work with people, you'll take them through a course of transformation, so you get to practice your healing, you get to practice your coaching skills before you actually ask people for money, because a lot of us are not going to feel great asking for money from people without having tried out what we're doing. So this is going to be you're going to feel like really, really good about this process, and it's going to help you gain confidence. And it's also going to help you actually witness. You're going to experience it within yourself. So you're going to witness for yourself, but you're going to get to see it very quickly with people in the labs. And that is also going to give you confidence. You're also going to get to learn and practice the ethics of coaching and for alchemy, you have ethics that are three-dimensional. So basic three-dimensional coaching ethics is a really important thing, but you're going to also learn those higher universal laws, those spiritual laws that are governing everything. That's also a part of the work that we're doing. All right. So step three, you are going to actually build a magnetic six-figure business. That is a part of the coaching, the certification process. So you're going to build systems, you're going to use tools, and you're going to use the templates so that you are not having to reinvent the wheel. Everything has already been set up for you, but you're going to customize it and you're going to make it your own. And that is a part of the entire process. And it should feel natural for you because you've been doing the work. Okay. Now, step four is impact. This is where you're going to start to expand your authority into the world. So you've done the work on yourself, you've learned how to coach. you've built your business structures, and now you're putting yourself out in the world. So this is where you're going to start doing your publishing. You're going to publish your ideas. You're going to start leading your master classes, and you're even going to be standing on the stage, talking about who you are, what you do, and what you offer. You're going to also be growing your clients. So I'm going to teach you how to do all these things. That's a part of the certification process. You're going to learn how to grow your social media platforms. You're going to learn how to build workshops and master classes. You're going to learn how to build your communities. So you're going to be able to establish yourself as a trusted expert and a thought leader in your field. Okay. Now, this is a great opportunity for those of you who are afraid of putting yourself out there. Look, if you're already good at putting yourself out there, you're going to really thrive. But for those of you who have fear or apprehension about showing up on social media or making videos and putting yourself out there, I'm accustomed to people who have those fears. So we have some really good processes, healing processes to help you overcome those fears. That's why this program is so different than other programs. It's because there are healing tools for you every step of the way. Last stage is for you to actually go out and enjoy. You're going to launch yourself out in the world, and you're going to witness yourself experiencing the power and the passion that is naturally yours. You're going to see your inner star out on stage. All right. So let me take a pause for just a moment. I'm feeling my throat getting dry. So I'm going to actually pause for a second and grab some water. I just realized I did not put some water here next to me. So give me just 1 second. All right. Pause. Okay. I'm back. You know that feeling like, okay, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning here already in Paris. And I get up and I drink water. That's like the first thing I do. I kind of get up in the middle of the night and drink water too. But I have to say that when I get up and start talking like this in the morning, I get my throat is just I can't believe it's like I get up early anyway. I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning and I don't talk. Okay, or if I talk, I pray. I get up and I meditate and I pray. And to get up and actually speak to people, I think it's really hilarious that this is what I'm doing because it's not that easy. But I don't mind doing it. I don't mind doing it at all. It's actually, this is quite fun for me. I'm having a good time. Uh, Rebecca, can we please um, have the Leanne slide? I should probably have said that before I took my break, but I want you to meet one of my students. Her name is Leanne Wan, and she's one of the graduates, and she's just so cool. And I love her testimonial, and I want you to witness her. Rebecca, are you ready with that?
It's her walking you down that how to set up a business path as well, because it was so structured and rigorous, and these are all the steps you need to build an online business, which while I have pretty much an online business with the tutoring, I never actually went through all these steps of launching a program and, you know, how to build up my email list and client base, just how to do the marketing piece. I was never really good at the marketing piece myself or cared for it. I just liked to do the work and I didn't really care too much about the business aspect of things, but she had a wealth of knowledge in that. It's interesting. When I first showed up and signed up with her and started the program, I had a lot of hesitancy. It's because I was saying how the universe was nudging me in this direction, but I wasn't fully on board myself. And I still had a lot of self-doubt. Like, can I do this? Is this really for me? I can keep doing my other businesses and I have an affinity for self-development and growth and I'm always helping people out or trying to serve in that way. But I didn't feel I was ready. And working with Crystalline over time in the last 4 months, it's really because she breaks it down into a process and a methodology, helping me to uncover what my personal gifts and my niche client is. It just like made it seem so obvious. Okay, I do have something to offer and this is what I have to offer. And it solidified, you know, that I had something to give and that I needed to do this. So it's very affirming in that way emotionally to know I am walking down the right path because she walks you through the process of what it is that you have to give.
Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, one of the things that is really important is, I just love watching people succeed. I was actually talking with another coach last night, and we were just saying how gratifying it is to see people thrive, and to see people giving aha moments, right? And with Leanne, she's really, really smart. And she was already an entrepreneur when she came to me, but she didn't have any coaching experience or any real marketing experience. She was successful in her own way, but attracting clients required a totally different approach. And so she just had a very different um, she had a powerful experience and she basically inhaled all of the information. Okay, she inhaled it and thrived, right? So you've come really far this week, right? You've you faced your own kind of, I'm here, I don't know things, okay? Um, you've also seen that you're not alone in this journey and you've learned that there's a lot that goes into creating transformation, you know, within yourself, but also within your clients, right? Your potential clients, your future clients. So again, I want to encourage you to book yourself in for a strategy call and take yourself seriously. You can be like Leanne, you can be like Kate, who you met yesterday. You saw her yesterday. And you can write your own story as well. Okay. And I want to encourage you to write a story that is big and bold and badass. And right now, I want to teach you how to attract the right people into your coaching. I want you to know what that process is like because for me, that was the scariest thing. How on earth am I going to get clients? So here's the next step. Um, let's see, hold on one second. Rebecca, what we're going to do now is go to the Magnetic Alchemy client um, book, the workbook. Let's see, I want the page. Okay, you know what? I don't have the workbook in front of me. So, Rebecca, can you um, open the book? And there's the little the infographic with the circles. I think that's there. Can you share that for me? Yes, this is the one. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. All right. So I just want you all to look at this for a few moments. And so the magnetic alchemy client attraction framework, that's what you're looking at right now. And this is a step-by-step path to becoming a coach that clients are naturally drawn to. We want everything that you do to be natural. And like I told you a few minutes ago, I said I'm not a salesperson. I don't do sales. It's because I just I have a product, and either you're going to like it or not. You're either attracted to me and it, or you're not. And you'll notice from the testimonials over the last few days, the women all said, "Well, I was attracted to you. I was attracted to what you were doing." This is exactly what I'm talking about, and this is exactly why I've put the framework together in this way. All right. So attracting clients as a new coach isn't really about applying pressure or pretending to be someone that you're not. It's really about becoming clear, visible, and trustworthy while you're staying true to who you are. So this framework is going to give you a really simple but powerful, it's a powerful system for doing that. So here's how it works. You've got you've got your compelling offer. You're going to have, which is going to, sorry, we're going to start with um, it really begins with the ideal client, all right? And then you need to be able to give them a compelling offer. And then you're going to show up with authentic visibility. And then you're going to build trust, okay? Now, go ahead and stop the screen share now. Thank you, Rebecca. So we're going to start with the compelling offer because I want to end on the client because that's the most important thing, and I'm going to save the best for last. So before you start thinking about content or social media or any kind of marketing, you actually have to have a really good offer. You need an offer that speaks to what your ideal client wants and what they need. So that means you need a coaching package that really solves a problem. It needs to be able to solve the problem, lead to a big transformation, but it also has to reflect the deep healing and the growth that you are most qualified to lead. So, what is an offer? It's funny because a lot of coaching programs throw around the word offer. And for me, I never understood what they meant until I sat down and really worked it through for myself. So I don't want to assume that you know what an offer is, especially if you're new to this stuff. You need to know what an offer is. So an offer is what you give. It's what you offer. And your client needs to be really, really clear about what they are going to be walking away with. So, for example, I have an offer of the Fire Alchemy Certification Program. It's very clear of what you're going to walk away with. Number one, you're going to be certified. You're going to know fire Reiki. You're going to know how to bring in clients. You're going to have a six-figure business foundation with your website, with your social media, all that stuff. It's very, very clear. It's very, very obvious what you're going to walk away with. You're going to be a certified coach with clients. You need to be able to have that much clarity in what you offer. So, in order to do that, your what you're offering must be grounded in a real method or a process, not just a vibe. Like, I'm just going to help you feel better. You're going to feel good. That's not enough for people to want to invest their money. So you have to really sit down and walk through this whole process of building out your method. Now, if you're certified by me, for example, you're going to have behind you the fire alchemy coaching method. Okay, so it's not going to be just, oh, you're going to be on fire. You're going to be on fire. You're going to be great. No, you're going to actually walk out with a real transformation that we are going to cater to you. Okay, so the transformation that I give as a fire alchemy coach is not the same transformation that you're going to give as a fire alchemy coach. Why? Because we're different. And God made us different on purpose so that you can do it your way and I can do it mine. So that is a part of the beautiful thing about this process. Now, you also need to kind of understand that your offer must be compelling because you are not going to attract someone to you when your offer is not clearly defined. So having a clearly defined, compelling offer is the first step. All right. If you all have any questions about this, whether you're watching the live or the replay, please make sure that you just throw your questions into the comments and I will be happy to answer them for you and reply to you. All right. Now, the second thing that you need is authentic visibility. So once your offer is clear, you need to be seen, not just by anyone, but by the people who are already looking for you and what you offer. They're looking for someone who has your heart, your soul, and something to offer to help them. They're looking for you because their higher self knows that you're out there. Their higher self will lead them to your higher self, and eventually they will get to you. So, authentic visibility means that you're showing up in a way that is aligned with your personality, not my personality, your personality. You're going to do you, and people are going to be attracted to you. Just like you're attracted to me, it's my personality. When you put yourself out there, people are going to be magnetically attracted to you as well. All right. So the divine in you is going to expand your energetic capacity so that you have space to bring on more people. So as you do the work, you are going to expand more and more. And that's how you are going to build. All right. So please understand that you do not have to perform. Okay. You just have to be yourself. You have to be present and you have to do your work. All right. You won't want to just show up and be half-assed, having, kind of just, oh, I'm just going to show up. I'm not going to think about what I'm going to do. I'm just going to talk. Like, come on, put together a little bit of something, something, do a little bit of work so that you're on point and you're not rambling and that your message is actually coming through. I do encourage that. All right. But that's also a part of the certification process. So you know what work to do. All right. So this stage is about showing up online or in person, okay? Whatever you choose to do, you need to do it in a way that feels natural to you. So you want to show up and you want to share your insights and your experiences and your stories, but you do want to do that in a way, like I said, where you're not just rambling on and on. You want to have structure, you want to have thought things through because you're a professional and people are looking to you to guide them in a way that is trustworthy. And taking the time to actually structure a talk is an act of love. Okay. Yes, channeling is important, but giving a little bit of structure is also important. Um, and I just want to say lastly on this that when you're visible and you're standing in your truth, people will notice and they will be the right people. Okay. All right. The third step was trust building. And by the way, if you signed up for the challenge, you will have gotten you will have gotten all the workbooks and you will have access to the replays. So again, if you're on Liesel or Rebecca, whoever's on the socials, please drop the link to sign up for the challenge so that they can get access to the replays and the workbooks, which are really important. So, number 3 on that slide, and Rebecca, will you please put that slide up again for me? Can you do that so that they can see the process again, if they're on social media and they have not gotten the workbook yet? Will you please? Yeah, thank you, darling. I see it now. Right. So we're at trust building right now. And so before someone says yes to working with you, they must trust you. All right. And believe me, it is not just about your credentials. Okay. I love my certification process, but people are not coming to me. No one has ever asked, how are you certified as a coach? They don't actually care about that. You care about that. And you have confidence because of your credentials. People are not trusting you based on your credentials as much as they are trusting you based on your voice, your love. Actually, they're trusting you first on the love that you have to give to them in the form of the work that you offer, in the form of the things you put out, your blogs, your articles, your posts, your services, your videos, okay, the ebooks that you write or the books that you publish formally or traditionally, okay, it's your presence. That is where the trust is truly coming from. Also, please understand that people can sense your ability to hold them through their transformation. So, trust is really built when your visibility is consistent and your message is very, very clear. Okay. But it also deepens through the honest conversations that you have, through the stories that you tell, and through any content that you are creating. So making sure that you show up with real care is the way to actually build trust. All right. And understand that at the core of all of this is building relationships. Okay, so the last part of this, I saved the best for last, right? I told you it begins with the client, and I want to say it ends with the client. All right, and it's your ideal client connection. So this is where everything really comes together. So when your offer is solid and your presence is really authentic, and you've built trust, your ideal clients begin to feel that you are the right person that can guide them. They recognize themselves in your message, they feel safe in your energy, and they see the possibility of their transformation through the work that you give. So this final stage isn't about chasing people, it's about allowing the right people to find you and giving them a clear, aligned path to say yes. Rebecca, you can stop that framework now. And so here's why this thing works. All right. This works because number one, it's very simple, it's very strategic, and above all, it's led by your presence, by your love, by your soul. Okay, it doesn't ask you to be anyone other than who you truly are, but it does require you to show up with clarity, with consistency, and with care. If you are lacking in those things, then that's going to affect all of those things. So when you follow this magnetic alchemy client attraction framework, your like how to attract clients stops being a mystery, all right? And it becomes a process. And it's a process that you can actually learn, and then you can repeat it, and then you can trust it and relax. All right? So let's take a pause for a moment and let's take a deep breath. Crystalline, take a deep breath. And let's talk about what's going to come next. All right. Okay. So attracting aligned clients is really important, but it's really just one part of the bigger picture. I want you to understand that you can be magnetic and visible online, but if you don't have a solid business foundation beneath you, your visibility is not going to actually make you money. Now, a lot of spiritual people don't like to talk about money, and there are women who don't like to talk about money, but let's face it, we all need money to thrive, not just survive. I'm not even going to talk to you about surviving because you can survive, all right? But can you thrive? Client attraction is the doorway, but once the clients walk through, you need to know what you're inviting them into. They need to know that what they're coming into is going to give them transformation, okay? But you need to know that you have all the systems in place to guide them. And that is part of the responsibility of any type of coach, whether you're a fire alchemy coach or whether you are a business coach or a relationships coach or any kind of coach. Okay. So I have put together for you a six-figure business alchemy roadmap. Now, this is the full structure of a coaching business that not only works, but it supports your soul, it supports your time, and it supports your income goals. It's a step-by-step path to go from being just passionate and purpose-driven to being a real professional, well-paid entrepreneur. All right, so I want to walk you through that process. Rebecca, do we have a slide of the overview of the roadmap? Okay, very good. So you can see from here that there are five steps. Okay, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview while we have this slide up. So you start with the first pillar, which is about aligning with your soul. You all know I'm going to align with my soul, okay? Because you know that your soul has all the answers. So first step for me with anything is we start from the inside with the soul. Now, the next step is about your program and your pricing structure. This is super important. Now, we'll go into that. We're going to go into all these. We're going to give you a quick overview on all these. But of course, while you're in the certification program with me, all of these steps are covered. You're not going to have to figure out any of this stuff on your own. You're not going to have to go do research online for any of these steps. These things are all built into the program. All right. Now, so pillar number two is about setting up your signature program and your pricing structure. Step three or pillar three is about getting visible and growing your audience and attracting the right people to you. Pillar four is about setting up the operations of your business and how to delegate. And then pillar five is actually launching your business and delivering on, what you offer and refining. Okay. All right. So you can go ahead and stop the slides now, Rebecca. Thank you. So there are five steps to building your business, and we want it to start with your soul. This roadmap outlines all the steps that you need to take, and every step is connected to alchemy. Now, the first step is about clarifying your soul's philosophy. So, this is about doing your soul's work. So, before you put anything out online, before you put your offer out online, you need to know what you believe and why it matters. So, in this step, you explore your personal story, you explore the experiences that shaped you, and you explore the deep purpose that's calling you to coach. All right. Then you're going to bring your philosophy out and you're going to make a clear statement about what you stand for, who you help, and how that transformation is going to happen. So the alchemy here is about igniting your inner fire so that your truth becomes that burning light that attracts people to you. You know, everything for me is about fire alchemy. Well, your truth becomes like, I'm imagining the Olympic torch. You know, it's like running around the city. And it's really exciting when that Olympic torch comes to your city and it's being all celebrated and it's floating in the sky. The Olympics last year were off the hook, okay? But this is really an important process because it's where your truth is being put out into the world and you're experiencing the alchemy. The alchemy is working for you as you put your soul out there. Okay. So that second pillar is about creating your signature program and pricing. Now, I want to be very, very clear. If you are on your own, right, you need to have your own signature offer. But even if you're coming through a certification program like mine, for example, the Fire Alchemy method is behind you, but you need to have your own flavor. And this is a big part of branding because you might use the Fire Alchemy coaching method, but you want it to be the Cindy brand so that it feels like you, it looks like you, it feels like you. This is important because your who you are is where the real magic is. So you're going to need to create your signature brand and you're going to need to be very clear about how you help your clients so that you don't have to feel inauthentic trying to fit yourself into another box that isn't you. Okay. So for my students, the alchemy is behind them. The fire alchemy is there. It's giving them the power and the tools, but out front, they are glowing with their own light and they're sharing their own authentic brand. So the alchemy here is that your natural gifts and your lived experiences are being shaped into your unique brand. And that is what you are putting out in the world. And people are going to be totally magnetized to you, just like you have friends and family, and the world comes to you through the things that you love. It works the same way in your business and with your brand. Okay. Now, step three is about getting visible and attracting the clients. So you can't coach people if they don't know that you exist, if they don't know that you are out here. Okay. You're not going to be able to coach anybody if you don't put yourself out. So this step is about building your presence and getting more and more confident about sharing yourself, sharing your message, and doing it in a way that feels authentic to who you are. Because, like sometimes people are a little bashful, they're a little like shy. And I don't think they realize how charming and magnetic that is. I was talking to one of my clients and she was really, really nervous about putting herself out. And when she was doing her gestures, and we're online, she's kind of like, oh my God, thinking about these things. And she's like, no, 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 I don't know that I can do this. what she didn't realize was that she has so much character and so much charm that even her fear is charming. And this is the kind of thing that my students learn. Number one, our stuff is online, and a lot of the stuff you're going to be doing online. You can totally do stuff in person, but still, a lot of stuff you're going to be doing is going to be online. So your video presence needs to be trained. Like right now, if, I'm going to, if you look at me right now, I'm very well lit. I've got on some makeup. I had to think through this setup. It's nighttime where I am and it's dark in the background and I don't like that. Okay, so I should probably be over here. Then you can see my mirror over there. You can see that's my mirror. There's my ring light back there. But all of this stuff is kind of really intentionally set up this way. I kind of like the shadow and the light because that represents what I do. It's transforming shadow into light, right? And you have to understand that who you are is good enough. You're seeing crystalline, but crystalline is not putting on an act. Crystalline is sharing her knowledge naturally. There's no acting, there's no pretending, there's no, um, yeah, I'm showing up and I'm trained. When you're trained, you show up in your best. That's when you're at your best, when you are trained and you have something clear and a clear message and you know who you are. And that's where the alchemy is, okay? You don't have to chase clients. You're magnetic by showing up well trained and authentic and being consistent, right? Your voice can speak for itself. So, step 4, you need to set up your business. You need to set up your systems. You need to delegate. Now, you may not be ready to delegate and hire team members right at the very beginning, but you don't have to. All right. One of the things I like about my container, okay, about my certification is that you are building all the steps of your business. You build your website, you build your blog, you build all your things while you are in the certification program. So you're in class and you're getting the stuff done. You're building your blog, you're building your writings, you're creating your content while you're in the certification. And when you're putting it out, you are you're under my care. So setting up systems is wonderfully is I love it. I love systems. You all may not love systems. A lot of my students are like, I don't love systems, but I'm glad that you're helping me with this. Um, and we do it together. We have co-working and yeah, Q&A, and we have a bunch of ways to get through the tedious parts of the work, the administrative stuff. I love it. I do. I love, when I was born, um, I was born with a bunch of these administrative things, and I was also born with business. So that's a part of who I am. So I'm very, very spiritual, but I'm also very uh, business oriented. And so um, setting up business is just something that I love, right? And what I want you to understand is that business is actually very easy. It's just systems. And all you have to do is put together the systems one by one step at a time. You don't have to do everything yourself. You can hire a team. You can hire virtual assistants. You can hire, people to handle systems for you. So allowing that to kind of just happen naturally in the process, it'll come. You don't have to think about that stuff right now. All you need to do is start at step 1 and just do step 1. And when step 1 is done, then you go to step 2. All right. So the alchemy here is that you do the steps and each step is your burning, right? You are creating the magic as you go. After you've gotten to the last step, you look back and you see that everything is done. And that's a beautiful feeling. Do you see how hot I just got? I don't know if you can see this, but I started talking about systems. And I love systems so much because they're so helpful and they carry you through. I started sweating. I had a hot flash when I started talking about systems because they I love them. I get excited about them. So yes. And look, my team and I, we build our systems, the systems for our students and or for people who want us to, not for everyone. Some people love doing that stuff. They're like me. They love the technology. They love doing that stuff. But my team and I will put it together for you. And I just love it. I love it when I have to sit down and like create a layout for a client, like to put together an automation. Oh my God, I just get so excited. And I sit down and I get to use that part of my brain that's a nerd, and then I get to figure out the strategy. Oh, heaven. And yes, I actually like working with people too. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm having such I'm having a I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball, y'all. All right. Let me get you all out of here, right? Step 5. We're at the last step. Step 5 is about launching, delivering, and refining your what you've already created. And I just said you kind of look back and you see you've done all the steps. So then you put yourself out there and you're seeing clients and you're working and you're just kind of like really doing what I'm doing, sitting here having a giggle with your people on social media and just having a good time, man. That's what you do. And there are going to be some things that go really, really well, and you're going to be like, yeah. And then there are going to be times when you're challenged and you're going to be like, this sucks. And then you're going to figure it out, and then you're going to turn it around, and then you're going to do it again, and you're going to be like, yeah, I figured that out. I won. And this is how you're going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy your life. Step 5 is enjoy. Yes, you launch, you deliver, you're going to be working with clients, all right? Um, but what you're going to be doing is burning up in passion. And what you saw when I had a hot flash was me burning up in passion. Am I passionate about systems? Fuck yeah, I am so passionate about systems. Why? Because systems are where it's at. That's where you're going to be able to relax. The fact that I'm here and able to laugh and have a hot flash right on camera is because the system is here to carry me. I know where I'm going and we're gonna follow through. So you all, we are at the end of the six-figure what is this thing called? What is this thing that we're in called? It's called the Alchemy Coach Startup Challenge, and we're at the end. And I want to I want to I want to thank you all for joining me. And I want to talk about this whole six-figure business thing. Since we're ending on the business stuff, why is a six-figure coaching business important? Well, number one, a less profitable business is going to be a lot of work, okay? But you're getting paid less. And what I mean by that is, and I was just thinking about this last night, when I was not making six figures, I was doing a lot of hustling, a lot of like over here, I was over there, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was doing this, I was doing that. And there were just a couple of key things that were not in place that once I put those in place, I stopped running around like a chicken with my head cut off and I started making more money. So, what I want to say is that, like, I still have to work. I'm not saying that, oh, I made six figures and now I don't work. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying that the amount of energy that I expend is less and the amount of money that I make is more. So, setting up your business properly with the systems in place is powerful. Okay. Now, the next thing, you need at least six figures to be able to thrive and leave a legacy in the world as it is. Okay. If you just want to survive, then yeah, you can make less than six figures. Okay. If you want to just be able to do some things, okay. But again, you're doing the same amount of work anyway. You might as well do the extra work, the extra steps, and get those systems in place so that you can work a little bit less hard. All right. And, if you want to be able to really command your life so that you can travel and so that you can, pay for your kids' university and you can um, have the home that you want, live the lifestyle that you really want, not the lifestyle that you have to live, but to actually have some authority in your life, you need to have at least six figures. Okay? Six-figure income helps you live well. You can eat all the organic food you want. You don't have to really be like, okay, I want to do organic food, but I'm going to settle for the food that has been sprayed. Oh my gosh. Okay. So six figures gives you choice, right? And really, a more financially significant business actually fuels the economy, you know? You fuel the economy, you impact the world in a different way. And also, I don't think that your great potential or your magnum opus is hanging out in mediocrity financially. And I'm not knocking less than six-figure income. I'm just saying that you're being called to something greater. And if you're hearing this message, you're either excited by what I'm saying or you're triggered by what I'm saying. And if you're excited, great, you see where you're being called. But if you're triggered, you also need to maybe look at why you're triggered and what you're actually being called to. Okay. In my humble opinion, God is lavish, unfailing abundance. God is abundance and prosperity. And you are an extension of God into form. So you are lavish, unfailing abundance. You're also gifted beyond category. It's not just about money. It's about your light and who you are and what you have to offer, your greatest potential, your magnum opus. So go for it. At least start with six figures. And when you get there, aim for seven. You might just find yourself doing that. I didn't know. I didn't know back then that I was going to be aiming for seven figures. I did not. I was going to be really happy with making $100,000 a year. And then that changed. I got here and I'm like, wow, this is cool, but I can also see myself doing more. All right. So, my friends, you have now seen exactly what you must learn to help your clients transform. And you've learned what you need to do to attract the clients that resonate with your soul. And you've learned what you need to do to build a business that positions you to bring in six-figure income. So now the question is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? So I want to remind you to book yourself in for your strategy call. I also want to remind you that I'm having some events this weekend that you are invited to attend. We have the healing circle on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday it's at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to be doing fire alchemy tarot readings, and we're going to do some healing using the fire alchemy method. All right. And Sunday, we're going to be doing the same thing, and we're just going to be taking things deeper. So you can attend both days. All right. You're invited to attend both days. Live sessions, there will not be replays for these, so you'll have to attend live. On Sunday, we're meeting at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ladies, please drop the link to sign up for those so that they can get their messages. All right. So I want to thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you all over the weekend. And again, for those of you who have already booked your strategy calls, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now, everyone.